Hey guys, June 16th, 2010, I'm going to read an article from cnsnews.com, and it is titled, Obama's Speech Raises Questions. Where does he get the authority to inform a private company that it must surrender its money? And this is regarding a portion of his speech that he broadcasted from the Oval Office last night. The article says, and it's a short article. It doesn't go on for long, but it makes a good point. In his first ever address from the Oval Office on Tuesday night, President Barack Obama said that he was going to inform, in quotes, inform the chairman of BP that he must surrender the company's money to an independent party that will distribute it to the people and businesses determined to have been harmed by the oil spill in the Gulf of Mexico. Okay? The president's declaration raises a serious constitutional question about his authority. Where does the president get the lawful power to order any private sector company, BP or any other, that it must surrender its money? Who has been harmed? Or should not courts and normal legal proceedings determine who is responsible? Okay, there's a process here. Okay, before you can declare that they need to give up their money, it needs to go through the courts, right? There's a chain that you need to go through. Who has been harmed and who owes to whom in regards of the Gulf oil spill? Leaving aside BP's relative popularity or lack of it today, if President Obama, on his own initiative, can tell a corporation to surrender its money because he has determined its culpability in an oil spill, under what other circumstances can Obama or any future American president tell a corporation or a private citizen to surrender their money? Okay, this is setting a precedent. What rights do the stockholders in BP have to due process of law to protect their property? Okay, the Fifth Amendment to the Constitution says no person shall be deprived of life, liberty, or property without due process of law. Nor shall private property be taken for public use without just compensation. Okay, and we've had that happen here in Northeast Wyoming. The railroads come through, and they said, we'll give you market value for your place. You're out of here. And I've talked to the people that happened to. Well, what happens if you didn't want to sell? Okay, what happens if that land was in your family for 100 years? I don't know. Does Obama think he can inform, in quotes, persons and corporations to surrender or exchange their property without due process of law? He must. Okay, that was in his speech. That's what he's going to do. He's going to talk to the chairman of BP and tell him to set aside some money in escrow. Okay. Will Congress, the legislative branch of the federal government, have a say before Obama takes unilateral executive action in regard to how the government treats BP? Congress never did give him legislative authority to have the federal government take ownership of General Motors. It's a good point. Tomorrow, Obama said, I will meet with the chairman of BP and inform him that he is to set aside whatever resources are required to compensate the workers and business owners who have been harmed as a result of his company's recklessness. And this fund will not be controlled by BP. In order to ensure that all legitimate claims are paid out in a fair and timely manner, the account must and will be administered by an independent third party. Okay, now adding more red tape and bureaucracy, adding a third party into this, that's going to streamline things. Okay, I doubt anybody will see their money if they add another third party. But that's not the point. That he's given all these stipulations without the proper chain of command, going through the proper chain of command. Okay, the due process of law. And it's arrogant, I think. And it didn't set right with a lot of people. Tomorrow there will also be serious and legitimate questions about executive authority under the U.S. Constitution that the White House needs to answer, and responsible members of Congress need to ask. Now, I agree, guys. I don't know what you think about that, but I know Bush said that he wanted to be a dictator, and I don't think he was kidding either. But yeah, guys, there's a process. There's an executive branch, a legislative, and a judicial branch of this government, and I think it needs to go through. Yes, BP does need to pay. They're responsible for this. They do need to compensate the people, but the process needs to be constitutional. Okay, no matter whose fault it is, it needs to be done by the law. Anyway, I'll stop rambling. You guys have a good night, and a lot of news today. A lot of things happening. Oil spill, there's a lot on that Corexit 9500 chemical. The dispersant, a lot of people upset about that being used. More interviews by James Fox. He's down there. He's going to different parts of the coastline to get interviews and talk to people, and they said they're hiding it with that dispersant. It's putting it under the water, and when it heats up, there's plumes of, there's gas plumes and all that stuff comes rising to the surface, and when it cools, the air temperature cools, it goes back down, so you really don't know how much is out there. So, crazy, guys. Hang in there, and we'll talk to you later.